There's so much things to adjust, you guys, with a new system. Namaskaram, my dear friends, I am back again. Today, our topic of conversation is about states of samadhi. So I'm going to tell all of you the process and my journey into attaining states of samadhi. So of course, before anything else, I usually explain the word that I am trying to elaborate on. So samadhi, what is samadhi? And of course, our best friend when trying to find definition is Google. So I googled the word samadhi and Wikipedia give me the description of samadhi is a state of meditative consciousness. And then there's also another definition that states samadhi is individual and universal consciousness is united. To be honest, you guys, this definition is like hard to grasp. I don't really know what it necessarily means. Like I kind of know, but not really in terms of experientially speaking. But so how Sadhguru puts it is samadhi is basically an equanimous state. There are certain levels, but I will explain to you two states of samadhi where I have experience. First is a state of just constant joy, love, blissfulness, sweetness, and a sense of exuberance. And the second state of samadhi that I've experienced is, I call it a vibrational samadhi. Okay, let's first talk about the first one, which is full of love and sweetness and exuberance. So I am not just saying to say this, that I have attained a state of samadhi, because I didn't really know what samadhi meant. Sadhana for me was just, I know I had to do because it benefits me. And it was not the goal to attain samadhi. But interestingly, so when I got initiated into Shambhavi, I have already done a year's worth of sadhana, a little bit more. So a year of Shambhavi Mahamudra and close to a year of doing Shakti Chalana Kriya and Shunya. And this is what I've really noticed, such a big difference. I've noticed that you can technically throw me in any situation and I know I can handle it. Because like I have so much love in me, so much sweetness, so much exuberance, that technically anywhere I'll be fine. I know that for a fact that I'll be fine. Like sure, there are situations that irk my emotions, like oh, I'll be upset or I'll be like angry or I'll be agitated. But just after that initial reaction of emotions, the sense of calmness goes back to where it was. So I don't necessarily have a concept of this, but the more I listen to Sadhguru, I kind of start to understand the things that he says, like, oh, you know, in a state of samadhi, you're gonna experience a lot of joy, love, bliss, sweetness. And I'm like, okay, those are like nice words and, you know, great words. But after all the sadhana that I've did, it's like, oh my gosh, what Sadhguru is telling me is actually true. Like, I really experience these states. And don't get me wrong though, I'm not just saying this because when I do my sadhana, the goal is not for me to feel joy, sweet, or feel exuberant. I just really do it because I know I feel really great after the sadhana. Like my whole day is like really great. Like I feel like I'm sort of invincible. Not like physically invincible, but like emotionally nothing can trample all over me. Yes, sure, like momentary trample, but I pick back up so fast. And that in itself, like I cannot let that go. That's like, oh my gosh, a wonderful feeling. So I just keep doing it and keep doing it. And what I've noticed, it's like it builds up, like it strengthens. Like this state of like full of love, joy, bliss, exuberant state of samadhi. The more I do sadhana, like every single day I do it, I haven't missed a day without doing sadhana. Like it just builds up. The foundation just strengthens. Like, oh my God, you guys, it actually really works. Interestingly too though, because I have noticed with where I'm working right now, I constantly change my coworker because they tend to move. Just the nature of the job. And I have had 3 partners so far. And every single partner, despite you know the differences in attitude or character, they always tend to like me. Not like, oh, they like me in a sense where it's like romantically involved or anything like that. No, I feel like they like working with me because I maintain that level of joy and technically really like playfulness at work. So I think they really enjoy that, being around me, because then work doesn't seem tedious at all. It just seems like play. Also, I notice bad news does not affect me as much as it used to. So I'm a very emotional creature in the past. Well, I am still now. But bad news, like what I said, that the reaction, the negative reaction of a bad news is still there. But okay, like after that reaction, it goes back to equilibrium, where I'm like, okay, what can I do to alleviate the effects of a bad news or an event? And I'm back to my equanimous state. So also Sadhguru calls samadhi as like putting your intellect in the sheath. So not dissecting everything or analyzing everything, just letting life happen. But I also look at it this way. To get to a state of samadhi, it's about, yes, he's right, putting your intellect in a sheath, not letting your sharp knife cut all your way through life. But in my point of view, I feel like it's like zooming out from the situation, observing the situation without really looking for anything. Just looking at the whole picture, the ins and outs, how it flows, how it dances, how it builds back up, how it breaks, and just observing everything with full attention. And you'll come to like realize it's all interconnected, it's all working. So for me, getting to that state of samadhi is really zooming out. I know it sounds logical, but I have been logical for the longest time. That didn't really get me as fast as when I did my sadhana and the application of my intellect, zooming out, devotion, and then putting my intellect in the sheath. It's not as effective when you just use your intellect totally. So yes, I think Sadhguru's explanation of some states of samadhi with love, bliss, joy, exuberance, and playfulness is so attainable through sadhana. And I think it's more attainable when you do your sadhana without any expectation. The state of samadhi just happens. Like, it just does. The other state of samadhi that I experience is what I call vibration samadhi. So this is an interesting state of samadhi for me, because I've been to the ashram or programs where I actually see people shake or act in my head illogically, like they're yelling and screaming and I don't know what's going on, and sometimes I get scared. Their eyes roll back, like I really don't know what's happening. And I only realize, oh my God, I understand what they're going through is because it's starting to happen to me too. So it all started when I started doing Devi Dandam. So how I do my Devi Dandam, I just went through YouTube and there is an instruction on how to do the Devi Dandam. So I only do one Devi Dandam and stay there for a certain time and then do one stuti every day. And of course, like it's a mechanical process early on, like, okay, I need to do this first, then I do this step, and then go do my stuti. And then gradually when it just flows, like I know how to do it now. Just the past few days, like it hit me differently. You know that feeling when you're about to orgasm? When you're having sex, like when I'm in that Devi Dandam posture, like my gosh, you guys, it's like I would just shake. It's like such a good feeling, but I don't know what to do. It like just takes me over and I would shake. It's like a feeling of almost like going to orgasm, but I don't climax. It's just that state, like, oh my God, something's going through me. It's like a surge of energy. So it's almost like I'm like a conduit. And Sadhguru also has stories about this where pre-Dhyana Linga, where people don't want to be really around him in like a 50 feet radius because the people would go crazy, they would shake, they would vibrate, and then they would be like crawling around. I really feel like it's the same thing. Like this surge of energy just comes through me, and then if I let it, it'll take over me. But I consciously stop it and then I proceed to the next step and do the stuti. So all this sadhana, you guys, has made me really receptive to the energy, to the grace. And I have also really noticed what Sadhguru means when he says, I am available to you in more ways than you could ever know. I didn't get this at first, like, it's just like, calling unto Jesus, help me. But this time I'm like, Sadhguru, please guide me. Interestingly is, Sadhguru doesn't come and like, oh, Emily, how can I help you? It's more so like when I call on Sadhguru's name, sometimes I know what to do and I proceed. Sometimes I really don't know what to do, but I go back into a state of equanimity and then I could proceed. Maybe knowing or not knowing really what to do next. It's just, his presence is just there. So yes, you guys, throughout this journey, this inner journey of mine, some flowers, some people bloom overnight, but I know mine is very, very gradual, very, very slow. however, still continues to bloom. And I am so happy, you guys, that I get to share these experiences with you. I hope we all bloom one day or another. Namaskaram. Thank you, you guys. Until next time. Bye.